For today's headlines, Senate red flags insertions in 2021 national budget. Phisgoc audit still ongoing, says Cayetano. Go urges BCDA to prove NCC bidding legal. Duterte to raise maritime dispute, COVID in ASEAN address. Typhoon Ulysses hammers Luzon. New NBA season kicks off December. Cristy Fermin, Kris Aquino bad blood continues. Typhoon Ulysses forecast to weaken. Good morning, I am Sandy Locos and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Today is Thursday, November 12, and now the news. Senator Panfilo Lacson on Wednesday red flag the appropriations prepared by the ousted House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano and his allies for showing a huge disparity in allocations among the congressional districts in the 2021 national budget now being scrutinized by the Senate. Lacson's discovery validated the complaint aired by Negros Oriental Arnolfo Teves, who clapped back at Cayetano after the House-led leader refused to recognize the term-sharing deal he had forged with Marinduque Representative Lord Alan Velasco before President Rodrigo Duterte. Velasco only had 4 days to work on the submission of the budget to the Senate since he took over the speakership on October 13. At the start of the Senate plenary debates on the 2021 General Appropriations Bill, Lacson disclosed that the version submitted by the House included huge amounts for one urban district in Davao, one district in Albay, and one district in Benguet, and one district in Abra. Lacson also said he cannot decipher how one engineering district can implement an amount of 15.351 billion peso in a year. Senate Finance Committee Chairman Sonny Angara said this will be scrutinized further once the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways is up for the plenary debates. Senate President Vicente Sota III also hinted at a full-blown discussion on these huge allocations during the period of amendments. In other news, no audited financial report of the country's hosting of the 30th Southeast Asian Games was presented by Philippine Southeast Asian Games Organizing Committee Chairman Alan Peter Cayetano on Wednesday. Cayetano said the audit of Phisgoc's expenses is still ongoing. Instead, he presented a book which was finished ahead of the full accounting in a press conference held at the House Speaker's Taguig City. Several officials of the POC have filed a court case the other day against the Phisgoc for its refusal to report where it spent nearly 10 billion pesos in public funds. The Phisgoc has also failed to account for the private sponsorship it received from some of the country's top corporations. Cayetano admitted that the audited financial report has yet to be completed almost a year since the biennial meet came to an end. The POC Executive Council has long been demanding an accounting of the Phisgoc finances to follow the tripartite agreement forged between them and the Philippine Sports Commission last year. Senate Committee on Sports Chairman Christopher Lawrence Bongo on Wednesday urged the Basis Conversion and Development Authority to prove the legality of the bidding process for the construction of the new Clark City. He said this is in reaction to Senator Viso Ontivero's call for a Senate investigation on the fake joint venture agreement between the BCDA and the Malaysian developer MTD Berhad to build the 30th Southeast Asian Games venue in 2019. Ontiveros said the BCDA had already provided the land for the project and should have required its Malaysian partner to put up the capital. MTT Berhad, however, secured a 9.5 billion peso loan from the Development Bank of the Philippines, which she said would not have released such amount without push from personalities interested in the project. Hontiveros stressed that BCDA had used a public fund to pay the Malaysian developer, noting that the 9.54 billion peso provided by the Department of Budget and Management under the 2018 budget was used to pay MTD Berhard's debt. Go said BCDA should prove that the construction of NCC is legal and that taxpayers' money should be used for worthy projects, not on white elephant and for one-time use only. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee will tackle the merits of Hontiveros' privileged speech and resolution to determine the necessary steps to take. Tribune News will be back after these reminders.
Viber is the free and secure way to connect with friends and family, anywhere. Send messages and make phone and video calls for free. Download Viber now.
Magsha-shopping na lang ako!
Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Hello, can I get the following? One pink chair, bed sheets, na pink yung sofa, tapos slides, size 8, pajamas na blue. Oh, don't forget like...
Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Wait lang, okay ba yan?
Anything at the SM store, ma'am.
Call to deliver. Call.
Kuya, pwede rin ba ako magpa-deliver sa ate ko sa Taguig, tapos sa friend ko sa Davao, tsaka sa fiancé ko sa Lipa? Okay ba yan?
Kahit saan po, pwede kami mag-deliver.
Call to deliver. Call. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Call. Hashtag 143SM. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Call na rin kayo.
Call to deliver.
President Rodrigo Duterte will raise the country's position in maritime dispute in the South China Sea, as well as public health cooperation amid the ongoing pandemic, in the upcoming meeting of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Malacanang announced on Wednesday. The country's chief executive will participate in the 37th ASEAN Summit and related summits via video conference on November 12 to November 15, where he will exchange views on COVID-19 response and recovery efforts with other state leaders, according to a palace statement. Duterte will also advance Philippine positions on regional economic integration, migrant workers' rights, climate change, disaster risk reduction management, and counterterrorism in the 4-day summit. During the virtual meeting of the 10-member bloc, the President will also discuss the future direction of ASEAN community building and other regional and international developments with other state leaders. Meantime, Typhoon Ulysses made its first landfall Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. in the vicinity of Patnanungan, Quezon. Bringing in gusty winds and heavy rains, Ulysses made its second landfall around 11:20 p.m. in the vicinity on Burdeas, Quezon, and third landfall in General Nakar in Quezon at 1:40 a.m. As of 6 p.m., more than 171,000 people have fled to evacuation centers and homes of relatives or friends in Bicol, which is still reeling from devastations by Typhoon Quinta and Super Typhoon Rolly. At least 7,578 persons were preemptively evacuated in Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon, the OCO Calabarzon said. Preemptive evacuations were also implemented in Metro Manila, especially those living along riverbanks and coastal areas. La Mesa Dam reached red alert status early Thursday, while Marikina River reached a third alarm. In sports, the NBA's Board of Governors formally approved a deal for a shortened 2020 to 2021 season, with new campaign tipping off on December 22. The shortened season will have each team playing a 72-game schedule. Free agency negotiations will start on November 20, with signings allowed starting on November 22. The December 22 start date means the NBA is able to retain its lucrative slate of televised Christmas Day fixtures. The new season will tip off a little over 2 months after the conclusion of the pandemic-interrupted 2019 to 2020 season. The Los Angeles Lakers were crowned 2020 champions after the season resumed in July, following a 4-month hiatus. We will be back. Stay with us.
Magsha-shopping na lang ako!
Call hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Hello, can you get the following? 1 pink chair, bed sheets, na pink yung sofa, tapos slide, size 8, pajamas na blue. Oh, don't forget like,
Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
wait lang. Okay ba yan?
Anything at the ASEAN store, ma'am.
Call to deliver.
Ay,
Call.
kuya, pwede rin ba ako magpa-deliver sa ate ko sa Taguig, tapos sa friend ko sa Davao, tsaka sa, cancel ko sa Lipa? Okay ba yan?
Kahit saan po, pwede kami
Call
mag-deliver.
to deliver. Call hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Call hashtag 143SM. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Bilang bagong mag-asawa, sabay kami natututo sa buhay.
Sabay rin namin inaaral ng mga bayarin sa bahay.
Kahit kami, nagtaka sa biglang laki ng electricity bill namin. Huwag pong mangambang maputulan. Sinisigurado ng Meralco na walang disconnection hanggang September.
Estimated bills lang ang natanggap natin ng March, April at para sa ilan, May. Dahil sa lockdown, isang tabi to para hindi na maguluhan.
Ang May o June ay actual meter reading na. Kung May, nagka-actual reading, ibabawas dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran hanggang 3 buwang konsumo.
Kung estimated reading sa May at June nagka-actual reading, ibabawas din dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran. Hanggang 4 na buwang konsumo, walang labis. Tandaan, kung ano lang na konsumo,
Yun lang ang babayaran.
ako po si Mateo G.
At ako naman po si Sarah G.
G?
G!
Showbiz columnist and radio host Cristy Fermin says her riff with Kris Aquino is not over. The conflict started when Cristy accused Kris of power tripping when the latter thumbed down the inclusion of radio TV personality Mr. Fu in a supermarket-sponsored online show hosted with showbiz manager and TV host Lolit Solis. The show was cancelled after Cristy declared she didn't want to work with Kris and that Lolit and Mr. Fu were no longer interested to join it. In her November 10 column in Filipino Star Ngayon, Cristy wrote that the issue should have died down because the concerned parties have aired their sentiments on their respective platforms. But Cristy flared up again upon reading Kris' comment on the Instagram post of former tabloid showbiz editor Dinto Balares, who said he's a peacemaker and wants to bridge the gap between the two. Kris, however, said that with all the problems resetting people at the moment and her own responsibilities, the bad blood between Cristy is the list of her priorities. After making landfall at peak intensity, Ulysses is forecast to slightly weaken while crossing central Luzon due to frictional effects in the presence of the Sierra Madre and Zambales mountain ranges. However, it is likely to remain a typhoon throughout its traverse. Ulysses is moving west-northwestward at 20 km per hour with maximum sustained winds of 155 km per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 255 km per hour. The typhoon is forecast to cross central Luzon and emerge over the western seaboard of Zambales on Thursday morning. On the forecast track, The typhoon may exit the Philippine area of responsibility Friday morning or afternoon. That wraps up the stories this morning. Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune Digital Edition and Press Reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store or Google Play to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarsito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just search for Community Viber on the sticker store. And before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store for our wardrobe. Again, this is Sandy Locos and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning and have a nice day.
Araneta City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Bini Bini pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first catch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
Ang Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators o POGO ay isang legitimate business entity na nagbibigay serbisyo sa offshore gaming para lamang sa mga manlalarong nasa abroad sa pamamagitan ng internet. Ang mga serbisyong handog nito ay katulad ng casino games at sports betting na pwedeng laruin kahit wala sa casino. Sa Pilipinas, walang POGO operators. Tanging POGO service providers lamang dahil nagaganap ang mga laro sa labas ng bansa.
Pumunta sa bangko.
Kung nga naman, sir, ba't kailangan pang pumunta sa bangko?
Why not get a UB app so you can do all these without going to the bank? Bank the way you live. Union Bank. Click, that's it. Never thought self-service can be this slick. Modify plans in a snap. Walang hirap, it's a wrap. Just tap the app. Now you can check, view, subscribe, renew. Help and support for you. Out with the ring apps are the in thing. You know what to do. Globe at home and Globe One. All in the Globe app na yan. Self-service and easy to use. Mas okay tayo dyan. Globe at home and Globe One. All in the Globe app na yan. Instant response, no hold time pa, wala nang hintayan. Download Globe at Home and Globe One app, all in the Globe app na yan. Download the Globe One and Globe at Home apps from Google Play Store and Apple App Store now. Download Globe at Home and Globe One app, all in the Globe